When William D. Boyce, a Chicago newspaper publisher, founded the Lone Scouts of America in 1915 to deliver scouting to boys in rural communities, many young members were more excited about receiving their own newspaper that came with their membership than belonging to the organization, according to Frederick Munich, an early Lone Scout. The publication Munich was referring to was Lone Scout magazine, a weekly, then monthly magazine that Boyce used to promote his Lone Scout program. A focus of Boyce's Lone Scout program was naturally journalism, and by the 1920s, nearly 1,500 local Lone Scout newspapers, called tribe newspapers, were being published in the United States and Canada. These publications served to unite the Lone Scouts across vast areas in ways that were never seen before. Boyce promoted the submission of materials for both Lone Scout magazine and the tribe newspapers through a series of awards presented to Lone Scouts for their contributions. The awards, which started in 1919, were known as Lone Scout Contributor, Lone Scout Scribe, Lone Scout Graduate, and Lone Scout Quill. When the Lone Scouts of America was absorbed into the BSA in 1924, publication of the Lone Scout magazine was stopped, but the tribe newspapers lived on. We'll learn more about the legacy of these Boyce Journalism Awards and the impact of this aspect of the Lone Scout program in this edition of Artifact of the Week. While the BSA ceased publication of Lone Scout magazine in 1924, it wasn't the end of the magazine. The newly formed division of the BSA for Lone Scouts brought the publication back to life in 1927, although the relaunched version was primarily written and edited by professional scouters. The BSA also had an influx of members with experience in writing for these publications, and this emphasis on journalism in the Lone Scout program led directly to the creation of the Journalism Merit Badge in 1927. The 1927 annual report of the BSA states that 61 Lone Scouts earned contributor medals and 8 earned Gold Quill in the previous year. To support the new Journalism Merit Badge and to engage these Boy Scout journalists, 1927 also saw the start of the National Boy Scout Press Association with 170 inaugural members. According to the 1928 annual report, membership was based on earning the Journalism Merit Badge or earning the Lone Scout Gold Quill or being the publisher of a chartered amateur publication. While the BSA continued to recognize the earning of the Gold Quill by Lone Scouts, it wasn't until 1933 that it became an official recognition of the BSA for achievement in journalism. In the September 1933 issue of Scouting magazine, the Gold Quill Award made its public debut and is described as an award to scouts in good standing for achievement in journalism in recognition of having earned a total of 1,000 credit points. Scouts can earn points for each 50 words of an original script they have printed in a specific list of publications, original poetry, cartoons and drawings, original photographs, magazine cover designs, and headlines. The announcement continues. In awarding these points, consideration will be given to the variety of subjects treated and the quality of the subject matter, as well as to the literary style of the writing or artistic merits of the drawings or photographs. To merit the award of the Gold Quill, contributions should indicate interest in a variety of subjects such as straight news, club or society meetings, lectures, sermons or political addresses, theatrical performances, subjects or events to be suggested by counselors, editorials, publicity articles, features, human interest stories in magazines or newspapers. Material for points earned under the Gold Quill Award must be published in at least 5 different issues of the same publication or in a total of 5 issues of 2 or more publications. The Gold Quill Award was retired in 1956, but that's not the end of its story. In 1965, the BSA brought back the Gold Quill Award and made it part of the requirements for the newly created Communication Merit Badge. The requirements for the Gold Quill Award were updated and were no longer point-based. The first requirement was to write in your own words why you think the ability to communicate with others is important. Then you had to do one of 5 projects. Submit a published article that you have written, or you could submit a photograph that you've taken that was published in some form. You also had to include a 25-word description or a caption for the photograph subject. You could also submit evidence that you'd made a verbal report before your church or synagogue, club or similar group, or you could serve on the production staff or as an accredited reporter for your unit, district, or council newspaper, or the newspaper of a national special event, such as the Jamboree or an Explorer Delegate Conference. You could also submit material or evidence to show your unit leader that you have prepared a message and communicated it to others. This could include a scrapbook of unit activities, a history of your unit, a play, or a script of a ceremony. The third requirement was to visit a radio station, a television station, a recording studio, a photography studio, or a newspaper office. Observe its operation and explain that to your unit leader. And finally, you had to discuss with your unit leader the other requirements for the Communications Merit Badge. Progress on the Gold Quill Award was accomplished using the Gold Quill Award scoreboard, with the unit leader signing off when each requirement was completed. The scorecard was then turned into the council office, and the scout received a lapel pin and recognition card. The lapel pin was not intended for uniform wear. The requirements of the Gold Quill were published in the 1966 handbook, but were removed by 1968, referring scouts to the requirements on the scorecard. By the mid-1970s, the requirements for the merit badge had also changed, and the Gold Quill Award was removed as an option for that merit badge. And by 1983, the BSA had completely taken the Gold Quill out of its advancement and recognition program. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.